How dare you?
Oh, here we go. Test quickly, Kaylin.
Check. Hello.
Here we go. Good evening and welcome to another exciting and professional episode of Goth Yearbook After Hours. It is I, your host, as always, Eric, aka the Eric Wynn, and with me, as always, is that hostess with the mostest, Caitlin, aka the Caitlin D. Caitlin, how's it staircasing?
Ooh, you've been waiting for this. I
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah.
All week I've been like I'm saving the staircase talk. I can't wait to talk about staircase.
How long has that documentary been out?
At least, well, it came out originally because there's like they added extra parts like a couple years ago.
Okay.
So originally came out like a decade ago or something, maybe even longer, and then Netflix added like 3 extra parts or 3 extra chapters like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. It's been out for a minute.
Yeah, it's weird that I missed that because so for anyone listening who is clueless as to what we're talking about, Eric knows I love a story about a man who kills his family.
Yes.
Because it makes me feel better about my relationship with my dad, and
oh wow,
I think gratitude is important to cultivate in a healthy lifestyle. So I like to obsess over these documentaries about family annihilators. Michael Peterson is not a family annihilator, but he is the subject of the documentary The Staircase, which is probably anyone who's into this stuff has seen a million years ago. But Eric alerted me to its existence last Thursday, I guess, on the podcast when we were talking about the Cecil documentary. And I gotta say, I do not want to get staircased.
How far are you into it?
I finished it.
Oh, you did finish it. Okay. Before we even get into it, the part why I was kind of shocked you didn't hear about it, and this is gonna be cheesy to talk about a podcast on a podcast, but on My Favorite Murder, I believe like one of the reasons that they both started is that like they connected having a conversation talking about what's his name? What's this?
Michael Peterson.
Michael Peterson. I want to say, if you're out there and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say Georgia actually said that she, like, for her prom, went out with a friend of like one of those guys' sons or daughters like that, and she took her prom fucking photo on that staircase. If it wasn't her, it was like her cousin or something like that. And that's like where like they started.
It's like in a family home.
Well, yeah, because like all the kids met there and took like their prom pictures.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Like they went to the same. I thought you meant they were like, I'm a true crime enthusiast. No. Can I come in and take my prom photo here?
I'm almost bummed that it's been so long, so it's like hard for me to like really comment on it. Other than I remember that his lawyer cracked me up a lot. His lawyer was like such a lawyer, and
yes, yeah,
and okay.
They're both real slime buckets. What I want to know is, what did he do it? What's your take?
You know, after I watched it, I remember being like, especially, okay, this is why I was like so frustrated that I couldn't talk about it last week, and like I bit my tongue all week long. But when like in the middle, and for the listeners at home, it's like 17 fucking episodes that are like hour long.
It's 13. I think it's 13 45-minute episodes. It's like 13 to 14 hours of content.
It's a long,
somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a wild. And in the middle of it, you're already like, holy shit, this can't get crazier. Just like nonchalantly they throw in the middle of it like, oh yeah, by the way, when this guy was living in Norway, Germany, the Netherlands, wherever it was, where was
Germany.
it? Germany, his fucking neighbor died falling down her staircase, and he was the last one to be seen with her. So it's like,
and she was like covered in blood, and yeah. So if you haven't seen this, basically first of all, apparently he ended up dating the producer of The Staircase.
Oh, and Michael Peterson did?
Mm-hmm. So there's like a big amount of speculation
male
as
or female
far as
producer?
Like female.
Okay.
As far as it being like skewed obviously in his favor. And then like leaving out a lot of evidence that was like the prosecution's main point, and then also them like sort of, so what happened was basically Michael Peterson's wife was Kathleen. She was found.
Yes.
He there's this 911 call that the documentary begins with. I don't know when we became a true crime
Oh,
podcast.
I know.
But
What
but
did you think of
just
the
this
phone call? Because
what?
everyone was. What did you think of the phone call? Everyone's always like, "Oh, it sounds so fake." I'm like, how would you know, like, if it sounds fake or real? Like,
Yeah, I think it's bullshit when people try to say that like anybody's response to any emergency is like
yes,
credible evidence for or against them,
thank you.
because
Yeah,
shock makes people and trauma make people act completely out of character and weird. And like there are people that like will have like their fucking like shoulder chopped off or
yeah.
arm chopped off at the shoulder and be like, "Oh, excuse me, can you please help me?" Like it's there's no like, you can't like base something on that.
For,
Also, to me he sounded pretty upset, but also to me the most like compelling, sorry,
yeah, no,
the,
go
the
on.
briefest explanation
Yeah,
of what happened. His wife was found in the bottom of a staircase. She was like covered in blood. As soon as the cops got there, they were like, this doesn't look like someone who's fell down the stairs because there's like blood everywhere. And apparently owl feathers.
yeah.
No, there weren't actually owl feathers. But and then like this whole thing turned into a massive murder investigation that was very high profile because he's a very successful writer. And then then it became like more and more crazy layers of shit coming out. It came out that he was bisexual, which in the 90s was still pretty like whoa. And like
Yeah.
the prosecution did kind of put
That
like
that part did kind of. That's the one part that, like, I'm not saying that I'm like, oh, I don't think he did it because of this, but that was the one part that annoyed me because I just hate when there's a narrative that's painted where it's like, oh, a man who, anyone who's queer, it's like, oh, they're driven to this thing, which it doesn't, a
it
man
does.
who has secrets can be driven to do something.
Yeah,
And I think we both agree about that, but I just hate how that can be a narrative that can be spun out of a lot of these things.
totally. But also that is something that on the on the staircase subreddit that is like they're like, oh,
Oh,
in
boy.
the documentary they like people who say quote unquote that they were like close to the case or whatever, they're like they put way more attention on the prosecution using that as evidence against him than it
Mm.
actually was.
Oh, okay. So
um
it was just like a
and they
trick
so
bullet.
it's like angling, it's all this fucking angling, and
Yeah.
by the end of the documentary I just didn't know what the fuck was going on anymore, because honestly like I don't know it's
Yeah.
what's so confusing me. I think if his children weren't on his side the entire time, and he had like the greatest, like I envy his relationships with his daughters and his
I
kids,
almost
like
don't because the two daughters are really like
because he
artists.
staircased both their moms.
Well, that too, but they seem like they almost seem a little. I don't know. And again, like my heart goes out to them because it's like so traumatic, But they seem a little almost,
Brainwashed.
yeah, like they just felt like something like
Yeah,
a certain reality that was like lacking there.
that's totally what a lot of people have said. We'll stop talking about this soon
Mar-
because this is like a whole ridiculous thing, but I know.
Marcella in the chat just said he did it. So I don't know.
Okay, great, solved, case closed.
I trust Marcella. Friend, shout out Marcella Kroll. Check
Yeah,
out
she's a
episode
psychic.
74.
Well, and maybe it is just like totally me like having a thing for toxic men and being like, he's probably even, I don't know, even if he did it, his daughters want him out of prison, so like, give him a chance.
Yeah.
Forgiveness, you guys. But so that's how my personal life is going. And but yeah, in general, it's just the most confusing thing I've ever watched. At least the end of the Cecil Hotel documentary, I was like, oh, she just was bipolar and like wandered, and it was a tragedy, but also like not a mystery.
Yeah.
A spooky tragedy, but not a mystery. But this was like, I do see how it's like, yeah, he probably did it. It is pretty damning, but it is also just like, why and then what's so confusing, or not confusing but scary, is like that someone could maintain
Yeah.
this whole because it's not like a Chris Watts situation where it's like he's a bit of a dummy, you
Well, and it was
know,
still
and
so
like,
fresh, like when that's going down, you know, like you're gonna
yeah,
maintain that for a little bit, but Staircase Boy, we're talking like 2 decades now.
yeah, and just like around all his like close family being like this patriarch and everyone saying that like, oh, there's this loving relationship and blah blah. It just I don't know. I'm so scared of men. It's just
As he
terrifying.
should be.
Yeah.
Which is, great segue because we don't have a man with us this evening.
Great. There's no man in the waiting room. We won't get Staircase this evening. I did just wake up, but I am excited. I woke up from a nap. I mean, not just like right this second. Um, on the podcast this evening is my lovely coworker and actor extraordinaire and vaccine distributor, or I think COVID tester. Either way, she's a goddamn essential worker, and she's essential to me getting through the day. I'd like to welcome my dear friend Chloe Zubiri to the show. Did I say your last name right?
You did. You didn't butcher it. I'm so happy.
First time I've said it.
I know. That's the thing. Like, you never say your coworker's full government name out loud. That'd be insane.
Yeah, why would you?
No.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Do you think Michael Peterson did it?
Here's my thing. Okay, here's my hot take. I do know about the staircasing. I do know about that because I feel like every single woman heard about that case for like a little bit. I'm not a true crime person personally, mainly because I have to watch comedies because the trauma that lives inside of my head is too much that I can't do. I respect all the women in femmes and all the other people who fucking like true crime shit. I can't. I'm a weenie. So that's my personal take. I think he did it.
Eric, no, that all said, it sounds like he did it. Yeah.
Sounds like he did it.
Eric knows this about me, that I actually I grew up like super into crime stuff, whether it was horror or, I like true crime stuff. But then my life, I was like, oh God, I can't. And so I packed it away for a really long time. And just in the past few years, I'm like, oh, well, it's October. And it's been October for 3 years now. So I don't know. I just can't stop myself. And I do have to do cleanses because it is horrible for the brain.
I can't watch so many in a row. I have to really spread it out. I watch a lot of Frasier because of the fact that I'm I need something that's really soft and really cushiony for me. So,
I love that Frasier is your no, wait, no, I'm not roasting you, but that is so valid that Frasier is your go-to. I love that. Yeah. That tells me everything. I don't know you. That tells me everything I need to know about you.
I feel seen. You're right.
So see. So my go-to, my palate cleanser, just so you know a little bit about me, is Parks and Rec. So that's the kind of you see what I mean. So you can kind of know a lot about a person based on what they're like. What do I need to do? What's the comedy that makes everything okay again? And that's mine.
That's a good one. That's
mine
also really
mine
soft.
Is Kaylin.
Yeah, mine has been recently. It's been 90 Day Fiance. So overall, I don't think I'm doing great. I don't. I think I need a palate cleanser for my palate cleanser. I'm just getting stressed out and not sleeping. I don't want to date anyone. I'll be fine.
I know. I feel it. Honestly, so not true crime, but kind of true crime that you guys should hop on. I love ghost shit. And there's one on Hulu called The Dead Files. And it's a psychic lady who goes into people's houses and communes with the dead. But then she has an actual investigator who does research on the house and the land and stuff, but they don't talk to each other during the investigation, and they come together at the end. And it's fucking wild. Sometimes she straight up says to the people, get the fuck out of the house, level it, build on top of it. It's sometimes one of the episodes she turns to a guy and said, you're going to commit genocide on your entire family if you stay in this house. And he's like, what? Like, you're gonna murder
Damn.
your entire family. And she's told him that, and then it was like a little thing at the end was like they left and went back to upstate New York, and it's like, yes, please.
They're
don't
like,
make me
and he
Chris Watts.
stayed, and yeah, this episode starring Chris Watts.
That's
Shoot.
intense. What's the show? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
We have it frozen. Is it frozen for you as well?
It is frozen for me. Chloe, I don't
Such
know
a
if you can
happy
hear
face,
us.
though.
Yeah. It's very like professional looking, just like Chloe, if you're there, just like the wandering spirits of there
There I
think we got
am.
you.
I'm so sorry. My internet is dog shit. Yeah,
It's
it's called
all-
the Dead Files.
Dead Files. Okay, perfect. I'll have to check. What's it on?
It's on Hulu.
Hulu. Okay. Man, Hulu's been bringing it. Hulu's where I get my
They
Frasier.
have. You get your Frasier fix.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, the real comfort show that I turn to because I'm 12 years old is Steven Universe. But I didn't feel
Oh, nice.
like sharing that. But now I feel more intimate and together with you guys.
Oh, I'm glad we're opening up.
That's a great show. That show makes me happy that children are getting a show like that. I think
I
it's
haven't
really
seen that.
important.
Yeah. Oh, Caitlin, you should see it. You should see it, dude. It's like, it makes me cry and also be mad that I didn't get a show like this in my childhood.
Yeah.
It is weird when you guys introduced me that to still hear essential worker in front of my fucking name. That is wild. Like, I'm still not fucking used to that. I'm going to be super honest.
Well, it's so you actually warned me because so Chloe and I work as massage therapists, and I hope that's okay for me to say.
She was just massaging the air.
um, and we actually like count as healthcare workers and we can get vaccinated. And so you actually warned me because I was talking about it at work. I was like saying I was excited. You actually warned me about posting about it. You were like, people will get mad at you. And I was like, no, who would be mad about someone getting vaccinated during a pandemic? You know, well,
I told you.
yeah, I totally had a friend that she's not on social media or anything. And I hadn't talked to her for a while and I reached out, and the thing is, she's had to work since day one. And like, she works in tight spaces with people. I was just like, I was like, oh, and I got the first vaccine. And she was like, I can't talk to you right now. I was like, oh no.
Yep.
Yikes. I do understand, but also we all need to be vaccinated. But it's like, of course, people are going to have emotional reactions for it. Hopefully this will all just be like a bittersweet nightmare memory from the past soon.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no. Again, like a really thoughtful pose though. Oh no, she's faking us out.
What is
Maybe.
happening?
No, pausing, or are you?
Chloe, if you can hear us, we apologize, but you keep freezing at the perfect moment. What was crazy was her eye moved when she was frozen for a moment, so I thought she was messing with us.
It was very like Mona Lisa winking at you moment.
Oh my goodness.
I felt like I was on drugs for a second.
Well, when she gets back, I want to talk about, I kind of posted it on the Instagram, but really great topic that I wanted to kind of dig into, which was the outfit that we wore for our first day of high school, because Chloe was wearing a shirt that says "The drama starts here," which the ghost took her.
Well, okay.
Oh.
Here she comes. Well, while we're waiting for okay, there we go.
Hi.
Oh no! Is there any way you can switch to data or anything like that?
Hi. I'm gonna switch to my phone. Oh my god, such good content for your listeners.
It's
Such good
okay.
I love
content.
it. I mean, this is what it's like in the time of Zoom and quarantine.
This is the way of the world now. Yes,
Truly.
Absolutely.
Yes, it cut off right before you were like, this is an interesting topic that we're going to dig into. So maybe that just the topic lives in my head now. Like,
I was talking about the shirt that you wore for your first day of high school.
Oh yes. The
Wait,
I
before we dig in, do you want to switch to your phone? I'm just
I will.
like
Yeah.
now living from anxiety and
Every moment is a staircase.
yeah, I feel like I'm mentally staircasing myself right now.
Eric needs to let me into the waiting room.
Oh, I apologize. Let me go over to my
You're
second
okay.
screen here.
Go check out patreon.com/Goth Yearbook After Hours.
Hey, we've got a slew of great recent history lessons we've done. Definitely go check them out. Oh, hello again.
Look at that. Look at that.
This is great.
Nice.
Yes, we were discussing the shirt. I was so stoked when you sent it my way, which was a wonderful shirt, and I posted it up on the Instagram at Goth Yearbook. It says the drama starts here. That is so bold.
Wait till you hear mine, Eric.
I'm so stoked to remember.
God. No, okay, so I sent that photo over to you, and that's just like a thing in your life,
Yeah.
I didn't think twice about it, but I forgot that. So I went to arts high school, and I was a drama major, and so for me to wear that fucking shirt my first day of high school was so.
The double,
it was a choice.
That was a choice.
You made that choice as an artist, as a the artist.
A the artist, specifically. Yeah. That was also the day that I very boldly gave myself my own nickname, and that's what everybody called me in high school. I don't want to say. It was Coco. I made everybody call me Coco.
You go, Glen Coco.
Yeah, you go, Coco. Oh man, I respect that because I feel like maybe not every girl, but I certainly did like want people to call me Coco for a moment, at least in my life. But I never had the courage to force that to happen.
Did you go around to say it was your name? How did you get it to stick?
Literally, because I knew that I had to play it correctly on my first. I remember the thought process behind this. So I was like, new school, new me. I'm not going to be a fucking loser here. Spoiler alert! I was fully a fucking loser. I was just a loser who had the nickname Coco. So I knew that I had to play it correctly. So I told all my teachers were like, oh, your name is Chloe. And I was like, yes, but I prefer to be called Coco. Can you write it down in the roster right now? And so for the rest of the year, when I didn't want it, even when I didn't want it anymore, everybody fucking called me Coco. Because then you hit 16 and you're like, okay, I'm fucking over this. Too bad. Everybody calls you Coco.
You're Coco now, yeah.
Chloe, you totally remind me. I remember there was like a select few people in my high school where they did that first day. I think even college where people, whether it was a nickname or was the shortened version of a name or the longer, like, and they would immediately say on the first day, like, actually I go by this, and it just stuck. And I remember like midway through high school being like, that's how you fucking do it. That's how you get it to just be cemented in. It's like that daily roll call. Oh, you were wise. Very sharp for that first day of high school.
I was sharp in the wrong thing. I appreciate it, but it was just like, oh boy, for that to be my choice was just because, keep in mind, in the movie Fame from the 80s, that is about the arts high school, there is a student, I did not know this, named Coco, and she gets raped in that movie.
Oh, no.
Yes, unfortunately so.
So it's like, fuck, man. Like, I chose that one of all of them? Okay.
I only think of either Coco Chanel or Coco, like the movie where the boy plays guitar.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I was supposed to be named Coco, and I'm glad I wasn't because she's a Nazi.
Coco Chanel?
Yeah. Full on Nazi sympathizer, man. Full on Nazi sympathizer.
I think I've heard that.
I did not. That's
great bags, though.
Excellent lipstick.
Yeah.
Definitely a Nazi.
Oh, Coco Pink, though, that is an epic shade. I don't
No, it
want
is.
to come off like a Nazi sympathizer.
Let's talk about your high school, your first day of high school outfit.
This is a great way to segue because it just makes me look worse.
Wait, was it? You're like a swastika?
No, it's honestly more embarrassing than that.
Oh, boy.
So when I was a freshman,
Oh, no.
I was one of our high school mascots. I just like thought it would be fun to be a mascot because we had the Panthers and I was like, I want to wear a cat suit. And so, but then basically what ended up happening was like I was like
Sorry.
I was too small for the suit. So they made me wear it's all coming back. I'm gonna cry. Oh, you guys, I was trying to cry earlier and I couldn't. It's happening now. This is something to bring up in therapy, maybe.
Oh shit!
No, it's just so funny. So they had other. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna get through this.
I don't even know where this is going to go, but I'm so like delighted.
It's not okay. So they had two other mascots because they actually fit the suits.
We believe in you, baby.
No.
What the fuck is happening on this episode with our technology?
Chloe,
Right.
you've been taken once again into the realm of Zoom.
Frozen?
Yeah.
Roma-
Oh boy. What is-
No.
Chloe, you're sort of you're frozen and we can kind of hear you, but it's like
Okay.
garbled up like really intensely.
No, it sounds like you're calling us to tell us that you've kidnapped someone we love.
Yeah. Oh, there you
Fine,
go.
I'll go back on Wi-Fi. Okay, Caitlin, gather yourself.
All right,
we're here
so-
for you. This is a safe space.
I didn't fit into the mascot costumes because they were made for normal sized humans. And I
Nice.
was child size and as a freshman in high school. And so they were like, all right, but you have the enthusiasm. And they actually, I found out later, had this whole plan to turn me into a cheerleader because I was small enough to be a flyer
Yes.
for the stunts. But I didn't know that yet. And so they told me on the first day, we had this whole like thing with the cheerleaders and the mascots the first day of school, and they were like dressed as a baby panther, and I was like, I don't know, like, do you have a budget for that? And like there was nothing, so they just like, but I knew the routine. So I don't remember exactly what the outfit was, but I think it was just like a black dress and like cat ears and whiskers.
So you were like a slutty
So I
baby
like persist. Yeah, and I was not quite a cheerleader, not quite a mascot, just like fucking hello high school. I went to my first class, like I still had the whiskers, but I took off the cat ears, and I think I didn't even realize I still had the whiskers on. I was just caught up in like, oh, it's my first day. And then my
School
teacher
spirit.
was like, I found out at the end of the school year, my teacher was like, I just thought you were weird.
What a bold choice. Oh my God.
It wasn't
Wow.
even really a choice though. It was just like no one really had tabs on what I was gonna do, and yet I was like part of this routine, and like no one cared about my costume.
So wait, this was given to you by the school. This little dress
No,
and
They
cat
told
ear-
me
you did that.
they were like, just come as a baby panther, and but they I didn't know what to do.
I thought you were gonna say you wore a diaper.
No.
Listen, that is my favorite story about you now.
That's great. I like when you said that you weren't quite a cheerleader, but not quite a panther, like Britney Spears song or something.
Just like
Yeah.
immediately like didn't fit into anything.
Jesus. Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I
I'm
just am
sweaty.
trying to imagine well, because okay, so that resonates because a lot of the people at my high school wore cat ears unironically because we had a Japanese like portion of our school.
Oh, okay.
Where it was a foreign language was part of the arts academy. So you could learn Spanish, French, or Japanese. So there were so many fucking, it was, okay, we were a fucking school of losers, but it was pretty awesome. Like it was the only school. I tell people about the anime club and how they gate kept people out of it. Like if you didn't pass the anime fucking exam that they had created, you couldn't get into the anime club. Imagine being turned away from the anime club. That was my high school experience.
That's a rejection I don't want to know. Jesus.
And now anime is fucking cool, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Is this Southern California? I'm sorry if you said I didn't catch it. Is this like
nah, Vegas actually?
Oh shit! Damn, that's pretty fucking snazzy, man. For
a
Vegas thing, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We like laughed our way across like 15 minutes. That I do want to get into some questions, and this is actually perfect because.
Wait, did you wear anything in particular on your first day of high school?
Yes.
Eric?
Oh, me?
Eric.
Oh,
yes.
I thought Chloe was
We're going back to
yeah.
Chloe's story. We're just going to keep telling these stories.
You know, nothing even worth mentioning after that. Like nothing. It was. I honestly don't remember the first day. I know it would have been like definitely thought out. It would have been like a band shirt and like probably like cargo shorts that were like looked like I could have like parachuted off the fucking building if I jumped. But nothing like
sexy.
I was just a skater boy. But I know like for sure like that first week or two I definitely wore like a lot of band shirts because I was like, I'm here to fucking show you guys what's up. But it was like
you're like, I know
music. Like it wasn't anything good. It wasn't anything like sick, bro. We see you.
Chloe, Eric was born a radio DJ. If you needed to know one other thing about Eric besides Frasier, it's just that he came out like looking like through a radio, like a music catalog and judging it.
A radio station.
Your mom was a radio antenna, and your dad was a really good broadband connection. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. You sound like a radio announcer. Some people just have that tone of voice, so that makes a lot of sense. I do love the band t-shirts thing. That is such a boy move. That's a high school boy move of like, girls are like, you're gonna see my body, and boys are like, you're gonna see my taste.
Yeah,
like that's
very much so.
That's the mood.
And I was like, I'm gonna be a cat.
Baby cat.
Baby panther.
Baby panther. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Someone wanted to ask, it's kind of a good segue because it's a high school question. Actually, I had two high school questions, but the first one was, what was your fondest memory of high school?
Do I have to go first?
Yes. No, Caitlin, if you have one at the ready.
My fondest memory of high school?
Yeah, let's keep it school related because I know that's like there's stuff that could have been fun outside of, but like one that was maybe related to like your high school experience in particular.
Yeah.
I got one. I'll go.
You go. I gotta think about it.
My favorite, I don't know why, but this is the one that just came to me. It might not be my fondest, but it's just the one that immediately came to me. But when I was a senior, I only had like 3 classes I actually had to take at the high school at that point, and it was neither the earliest nor the latest. So it was like all just like a middle block thing. So I'd like kind of come and go at like a real leisure sort of pace, at least for a senior in high school. And there was a guy, his name's Austin. I haven't spoken to him in like 10 or 15 years, but he and I used to just like play this game where we try to like hit each other in the throat as hard as we could with like our hand, kind of like that. Just stupid like boy shit. But it was like one of those things where like, you know, like it would be so showy to kind of like show off to others as if somehow like that was like a endearing thing. But like we chase each other around like the campus and stuff. But I was like walking onto the campus like later, and he was like just happened to be like going for like a bathroom. Like he had like the bathroom pass. He was just kind of like meandering through the hallways. And I saw him across the hall, and it was as if like the Wild Wild West, like it was like slow-mo. We both saw each other from across the thing, and like I fucking chased him for 20 minutes, and like we ran through like the front office. We ran through like other classrooms and shit like that, to the point that we went on top of the school bus, and like he got me. Unfortunately, I was the loser in this one. He got me so fucking hard in the throat that like I just rolled off this like fucking bus. But it was like intense, and we got like in a lot of trouble for it. But it was like it was just one of those great things where it's like I don't know that kind of freedom in my life anymore.
Right. Yeah, like you're nothing could make you that happy anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's really good. I got one. It's funny. It doesn't seem like it would be a fond memory because it was public humiliation related.
Hell yeah.
But
Some people are into that.
and we're not here to kink shame.
Yeah.
It was an incredibly embarrassing moment, but I love this moment so much because my friend David, the boy in the story, is no longer with us. And so it's a really, really good memory that I have of him. So I was really obsessed with this boy, David. He was really cute, and I thought that he might like me. And back then that was like, we were a school of artists. So it was like maybe 60% girls, and then half of those boys were Mormon and the other half were gay. Like
Right.
It was just, there was no in between. And
Right.
so for there to be an eligible bachelor on campus, it's like the hormones were like 10 times as hard. And so it was a battle. And so I knew that I only had like a short window because he was very nerdy and awkward, which is like my go-to. So I knew that the dance was coming up. And I was like, okay, maybe I can talk to him between passing periods. So the night before, for 3 hours in the mirror, I was fucking practicing being cool and talking and having a normal goddamn conversation, because that's what normal people do. They practice having a conversation.
Rehearsal.
And so I was so focused on getting to him across this parking lot in between passing periods that I did not realize that there was a curb in front of me. So I left my group of girlfriends and I walked across, not seeing the curb at all. And this is summer, about to be summer in Vegas. And so it's very hot outside. I was wearing tights for some reason. And I remember that because I fell and busted my knee open.
No.
And blood was gushing everywhere. And this was passing periods. There was like maybe 75 people who were like, oh, what?
Oh no.
And
While
David,
you're like doing your sultry, like slow motion, like
it was all, and he comes running up to me and I was just like, oh, and he's like, oh my God, are you all right? And my stupid brain, the first thing that I thought of when I popped up is, so I hear that you're Mormon.
Oh no.
And so
you're
he
bleeding.
he thought I was interested in the Mormon religion. And so I went to seminary with him for 2 weeks during the lunch period. And because I was like, okay, this is my in. This is my in. And then I found out he was gay. So it's just, yeah, it was just, but that moment, people talked about it for years, that it was just like, it was like watching a grand car accident happen in front of you, is the way that it was described to me. So that's probably my fondest high school memory.
That is a
That's
pretty
incredible.
grand wipeout. I feel like we all just have all have like one wipeout moment at some point in high school. I can't think of what mine was. When I was thinking of fondest memories, fuck. The first thing that came to mind was like for a period of time I had a free period that I was like one of the only girls in it for whatever reason, but I had a very small school, so I was like pretty close with a lot of people. Despite being a total loser, everyone was a bit of a loser because it was like a very mathy, sciencey school. And so it was like me and four of my guy friends, as many guys would fit into like an old Jetta. That's how many friends I had, because I had an old Jetta, and on this free period, we would pile into it, and it would be like so heavy because it would be like these football players and like theater dudes, and like all these dudes would pile into my car, and we would go to Honey Baked Ham and, and get sandwiches. And just get slices of ham. And this lady that always was working there would always just look at me and then like whisper over the counter when I was paying for my sandwich, like, be careful.
Oh my God. Oh, that's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But a lot besides that, I think my fondest memory was like not necessarily at school, but it's sort of related and also uh ties into one of my like vision boards for Goth Yearbook, which is that we'll all eventually go to Disneyland. Because I think my favorite memory was like when me and my high school like theater buddies and friends like all ganged up and went to Disneyland together, and that was like the best day of my life. It was
Yeah.
so fun. And just like I haven't had like a group of friends like that. And like it is different, like Eric said, like when you're just carefree and like you don't have like a job and rent and insurance and like all
Yeah.
this bullshit. And I really feel for the kids that like have been teenagers during this pandemic and are losing those like high school years. Because there's just something so magical about it. And like you can be standing in line with a group of people for like 2-3 hours and just be having like the time of your life, you know?
Yeah.
Just bullshitting. And like I have trouble talking to people these days for like more than 30 minutes, you know. I like went to the
Great
beach.
as a co-host for a podcast.
No, I mean when I'm actually with them
Yeah.
in a space. But I also like really hope that when this is all over, Eric and I have talked about this, we want to get like everyone who's been on the show who wants to come with us to go to Disneyland and just like mob Disneyland and like dress like goths and
Yeah.
just be ridiculous.
I'm a fucking freak. I'm definitely down for that. I know you didn't expressly ask me, but I'm down.
It
I
was
said
implied.
everyone who's been
Yeah.
on the show. Yeah.
Real quickly, just the wipeout thing. Because I was trying to think of a wipe I had. It wasn't a wipeout in the classic sense, and I think I might have told this on the podcast before, not on the store. But I did swallow a sewing needle when I was in high school. We called it an on your own. It was like our home ec class. And I was with my girlfriend at the time who had already taken it. And she was just really good at like, she knew how to make those blankets and stuff. And I was at her house the night before my blanket was due. That was like our big final project. And I had my sewing needle like between my lips. And all of a sudden, like I inhaled, I felt nothing. And I looked around and like, again, this goes back to the carefree thing now, because if I did this now, I would be like, Murph, my dog, would be like driving me to the hospital. Like it'd be a panic. No, but I like looked around and I looked at her. I was like, Becca, I don't like see the sewing needle. And she was like looking with me. And then she kind of figured it out more quickly than I did. And she's like, because like there was just nowhere it could have fallen, like where I was in her living room. And she was like, Eric, like, did you swallow it? And I was like,
Oh, you
no.
didn't know? That's so you.
I said no. She called. So I went home. Like this was like late at night. I went home, fell asleep, went to school the next day, and I get a Becca had called my mom, who called the school, and like on like the school thing, they're like, Eric, come to the office. And I'm like,
I love how your girlfriend was like, bullshit.
Yeah. And my mom was driving me to the hospital. She's like, you know, when it's like that mom panic, but she doesn't want to show it, but it's like clear.
Yeah.
The steering wheel grip is kind of tight. We get there, and the whole time I'm like, you guys, what are we doing? Like, I should be at school, and I'm saying this. And then, like, sure enough, we get x-rays, and it's like right there in the middle of me. And the doctor was like, wow, you're really lucky. This could turn this way or this way, and you would have been like really fucked up.
So how did they get it out?
You know how.
Oh no.
Yep. And by the time I got to the hospital, unfortunately for me, it was a little too late to do anything else.
Oh.
So
were you awake? Were you awake when they did the old pop and grab?
Oh, they didn't do that. No, I had to. No, it was so.
Did they?
I had to pass
They
it myself.
cut you open.
Nope.
Oh, you had to pass it yourself.
It'd been in there so long that it had collected what needed to be collected, and they're like, "You're just gonna have to handle this one yourself."
Did you give it to your girlfriend as like on a necklace?
What'd you say, sir?
It's all shiny after it's passed through your intestine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shines bright like a diamond. No, I can't imagine, because I had a little bit of anxiety in high school, but the anxiety that I have now, for the doctor to send you home and be like, oh, you deal with this. That is so anxiety inducing.
You know what's crazy? I think I must have the x-ray still somewhere. It's so crazy. Like all of a sudden you like look in there, it's like, oh yeah, there it is. yeah, first of all, now to this day, when I think about that, I'm like, that's fucking crazy because, like, I feel like that would still do some damage on the way out. It didn't, but, like, I agree. I have so much anxiety now where, like, when I tell a story, I sweat. But back then, like, the whole time I was just like, this is a lark.
What a fun story.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. That reminds me of there's like a serial killer that was famous for he loved like he was basically loved being a pincushion, and he would like Albert Fish, and he also was like a disgusting pedophile and serial killer, but like he would like stick sewing needles like into his taint and like walk around with them and stuff, and like his skin would swallow them up, and like I think when he died they like found a bunch of sewing needles like inside of him still. He just like loved it. Who among us cast the first stone, like, well, he there was worse stuff he did. If it was just that, I'd be like, whatever, dude. It was pretty bad.
He was kind of a jerk.
He was mean.
Not only was he a human pincushion, he was also kind of an asshole.
So funny to imagine, like, just calling such a horrific person like that, like, real meanie pants, real bully that guy was. Okay, so someone wanted to ask, I keep losing it, but they want to know, do you have a favorite prom theme from your high school?
I didn't go to prom.
Oh, I was going to ask, I would imagine that with your school, like, you guys must have had like some interesting ones.
Yeah. Too. So, you know what? Actually, I do remember my prom theme. Oh, this is kind of a sad story. So I got asked out to prom my senior year, and I didn't believe he was serious.
Oh, no.
So it was a really sweet, this is how fucked up I was in high school, that I really believed that it couldn't have possibly been an honest proposal. So he gave me a card, and he was an artist, a visual artist, and the theme was A Night in Paris. And I remember it because he drew the Eiffel Tower. And I remember what it said. It said, "Will you be the single white rose in a sea of red and join me at the prom?" And that was too much for me to believe that it wasn't a joke. So,
yeah, what does that mean though?
You know what? It was very sweet. It didn't mean anything, but it was very sweet. That's like a teenage boy being like, this means something.
Oh, yeah.
But he was a real sweetheart, and I really didn't think that he was being serious. And then he cornered me after passing period one day. And, my senior year was all jacked up. And so I was in between houses and stuff. And so he was just like, all right, so are you going to prom with me or not? And I was like, oh, I thought you were kidding. And he was like, why would I be kidding? And I was like, I guess the answer is I'll think about it, because I didn't think you were being serious. That's how much I just, yeah. So it was A Night in Paris. That was the one that I think a girl almost died at.
Oh,
Jesus.
Because there was a lot of, yes, Vegas, a lot of the dance majors moonlighted as underage strippers. And if I remember correctly, one of the girls' boyfriends, who was much older, was drunk and like hit her with his car kind of on purpose at prom. I wasn't there, but I heard the story.
That's so Vegas.
That's
though.
So high school. I wasn't there, but I heard it. Tim in geometry told me it sounded like it was fucked up.
Prom. There was it. Oh, prom themes.
Yeah.
I can't remember a single prom theme, honestly. I know I've shared before though that like my crowning achievement was that we didn't have prom king or queen at my school because we were too like diplomatic to vote for have popularity contests or whatever. And so I was like, well, I will vote. I am prom queen. And so I bought like a tiara, and my date like spray painted a Burger King birthday crown silver.
Amazing.
Yeah,
We
so
like decorated sashes, and he was like gay, and I was, the cat from freshman year, and and like we had it. we we had it at our prom in this hotel in downtown Los Angeles, and I had this like tiara and sash that said prom queen, and I like had my friends tell the DJ to announce us, and like it was just ridiculous. And then I made my physics teacher that I wanted to fuck really badly take photos with me, so I have like a prom photo with me and the physics teacher.
Can confirm.
Amazing. Sensational. That is a flex.
Yeah.
It's like, I am prom queen. That is awesome.
Now come over here, you fucking teacher.
Yeah, and what the thing is, exactly, and I still don't. I didn't give a shit about what anyone in my class thought about me, because I was like, I've known you all since I was 4 years old, because it was one of those schools, and I never left, and I was like, I don't fucking care, bitches. And but all the people at that hotel thought I was prom queen, so good enough for me.
Nice, you got a free night comped.
Yeah, right. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
I had a midnight curfew.
Yeah. My senior year, our theme was the same thing. Was a night in Paris.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is so lame.
That was the one. I won't go like heavy into it because I have before in the past. But it's actually when I was my senior year, I actually was like one of the two MCs of my senior prom. In fact,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That is so you. I don't even
Yeah.
know you that well, but that's really, really on brand from everything I can tell so far.
It was a
You're
night
right.
of calamities, but like the one I'll quickly shout out is
That would be an amazing prom theme.
Night of
A
calamities.
night of calamities.
I just picture like a waiter like with like so many banana cream pies like tumbling out of the kitchen.
Well, it's just inevitable. It's a high school
Yeah.
prom. There's gonna be a number of calamities, so just name it.
Yeah, the one that always comes to my mind is the other person I hosted with. It was supposed to just be me, and like true like narcissist like need to be the center of attention. Like when they told me that they would saddle me with someone else, I was like fuckers. And but shouts out Christine, I love you wherever you are in life. Great co-host, but you I start talking like I'm talking to her directly, but you did bring in the CD. We were gonna walk out to what was it, Be Our Guest from fucking Beauty and the Beast, like that was gonna be like our walkout entrance music, and she was like, oh, I have like the CD, like I have this like CD of like Disney songs, and the fucking I'm still laughing about this. Like, we were just children. Like, no one checked this shit. But the CD was like scratched to fuck, and we came out. It was just like B B B, like that kind of shit. And I remember like looking over here, like you fucking amateur.
You noob. Like,
Oh my god.
oh, that's awesome. Listen, that's an entrance that nobody will forget.
Yeah, no shit. True. Okay. Sorry, we're like where was that one? Sorry guys, I'm all over
It's
the place
okay.
now.
I was gonna add an addendum to Chloe's
please do.
story because I was actually thinking about that recently, how like I just at the time in high school, I think I had this sense of like, oh, nobody likes me, like boys don't crush on me. And then like when I look back at actual memories, I'm like, this man put his heart on a platter
Yeah.
for me.
I was thinking that too. I didn't wanna-
I sneezed on it and walked away. Like I just
Yeah.
wandered off and was like fantasizing about fucking the physics teacher, you know? And, like it's interesting how just, and so I was trying to think about it in like the context of now, and I was like, do I still do this? And I think I do, maybe a little bit to some extent, but like the lack of awareness and sort of like living in weird fantasies, but also like living in this awkward reality where like even when you get what you want, it doesn't feel real because you don't have that understanding yet in high school that like
Right.
life isn't this movie scene, you know,
Yeah.
that like plays out. It's like just not that. It's not.
It's
like that.
non-linear and fucked up.
Yeah.
As the great seminal show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend says in one of the songs that Josh Groban is on, if you watch a movie that was like real life, you'd walk out and say, what was that movie about? Because
Yep.
It's true.
which is
That's
so
a great
true.
fucking
No.
show, by the way. Shouts out.
Oh, fucking shout out to Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah.
I still think that that's one of the most brilliant shows that's been on the air in the last 10 years. And
Agreed.
people love to come for me like, musical theater trash. And it's like, it's fucking good writing.
It
like,
is.
fuck off.
Watch
Yes.
watch like the first 10 minutes and like you instantly like, because you see the title and you're like for a split second, if you don't know who she is already, like you're going into it like really blind, you see that title and you're like you bristle a little. Within like 10 minutes you're just like, so like you're like, oh, I'm in good hands. Like they know what the fuck they're doing.
People, a couple feminists recently got mad at me. I am also a feminist, just FYI. That sounded like it was going to end in a really bad way. But
I told them to go fuck themselves.
A couple of other feminists got real mad at me a couple months ago when I was just like, yeah, Fleabag and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend are equal in my eyes because they're both an examination of a crazed woman in this society. It's just a completely different way of looking at it. It's mental illness, but two other sides of it.
Totally.
You know, it's trauma, but two completely different takes on it. And I think that that's real fucking neat.
Yeah.
They also both do something that, for whatever reason, writers of almost every other show out there tend to just forget is a thing, and have character arcs and have the characters actually learn and grow.
Yeah.
Yes. Have women who like have agency and are allowed to be fucked up, which I think is really important in media, to allow women to also be bad, because women are bad in real life, myself included sometimes. And bringing that back to what you were saying, Caitlin, there were definitely moments in high school that I look back on and I'm like, that was fully my fault. That was fully my bad. Because and I think that it comes from this idea too, you believe, and you know, this is not just a female driven thing, it's men as well, and also gender non-conforming people. When you believe that you're unworthy, you don't, anybody trying to give you any kind of fucking affection, you're like, you're a crazy person. I just won't see this. This is nothing. This is not anything. Obviously.
Yeah, like I remember making such a big deal about going to certain dances with certain dudes and then like not even hanging out with them while I was there. You know, like because I was just so like,
yeah, that's so relatable. Oh shit.
Should we have another question? Should we?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Basically, we have another one of our Dear Abby questions, which someone wanted to know. They are currently in quarantine with their mother-in-law. And they said that it's kind of driving them a little insane. They keep butting heads. This is a woman who sent this in. She wanted to know what can she do to kindly, softly suggest that her mother-in-law leave her the fuck alone or give her some space.
Ooh, this is a really good question. Because
all
there's
on your shoulders.
It's all on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Me? Moi? Okay, so here's the thing. When it comes to, so I've never been married before, but I do know mothers quite a bit. The one thing that I have noticed when it comes to these kind of dynamics between mother-in-laws and daughters, the daughters who married their son is, it's a very delicate relationship. I think that she should like create her own ways of being by herself. And not around the mother-in-law as much as possible, because the unfortunate thing is she doesn't really have a choice because she's stuck inside. So if she avoids her in a way that isn't like directly avoiding her, that's probably what I would do in that situation.
Take a laxative.
I'm non-confrontational. I'd get a Xanax prescription and go to my room. That's what I would do.
I like when you're like, I know a lot about mothers. For some reason, all of a sudden I pictured like two moms just walking by in the background of your Zoom thing. Like your house is just like a haven for mothers. Like, I know a lot about moms.
It's a funny statement because I am friends with a lot of ex-boyfriends' moms. Like they just are like, you're so great, come back. And I'm like, never again, not ever.
Like,
but
no.
Shout out to Judith. If Judith loves podcasts, so Judith might actually listen to this. So
hell yeah, what's up, Judith?
My mom does that a lot with my sisters and I, like with exes and just people from our past, where it's like she'll constantly, and it'll be like, we don't need these updates. We don't. No shame to the people whoever they are, but like, I shouldn't even get into it because I was about to talk about my sister's situation, but I won't. Anywho, real quickly, I did want to say, I do like the idea of Caitlin. Caitlin often has a suggestion of emailing the dad.
Yes, that was what I was gonna say. I can't believe you took that from me.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry.
Wait. So what? So you email the dad?
My go-to relationship advice for like everyone that writes into this podcast who has like a male significant other who's driving them crazy, email his dad and just say subject line, hi, body of email, empty.
It's so funny with the idea of it being the father-in-law though, because then I picture like it being the one time where he's like, what are you saying, Judy, ?
Elegant solution to a messy problem.
I just like there's just so many.
Yeah. um sorry, what were we gonna say?
It has happened before, and I've noticed this in a lot of older women, that when they're distressed they need something to take out their stress on.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the person who wrote in happens to just be in the line of fire. Something
Right.
that I wish was more of a normal thing and that really gets on my nerves is I hope that she talks to her partner about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like that's such a thing that you say over and over again. Your mother-in-law is your mom is just being a lot, like please help out. And they go, but she's my mom, I don't know what to do. I hope that it's not that kind of a
Yeah.
situation, because that's just some small penis energy. I don't know if this person's partner is a man or not, but like
we love small penises on this show, so I just want to clarify.
We do, but small penis energy unfortunately sometimes includes feeling weak, and that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. Completely sidebar.
Let's call it baby panther energy.
Baby panther energy is a better way of going. That's not body negative at all. That's not body negative at all, and I appreciate that. Yeah, no. That is to say, I love. Okay, not to fucking completely derail it, but I love a small penis. I do.
They're better at head.
I do. They're better at head. They're better at head because they know how to do more things.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just. All my favorite lovers have had small penises. I'm just saying. It's
shout out Chloe's favorite lovers and Judith.
And Judith is gonna be listening to this like, oh, I know that's about my son. He could put it down, Judith. He really could. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Thank you, Judith.
I was gonna say we're a little over the time, but I wanted to give a shout out to one Would You Rather real quickly before we get into our quiz for the evening. Because I love a good Would You Rather. Someone submitted, would you rather burp every time you lean in for a kiss or drool every time you talk?
I have overactive salivary glands, so I do often drool unintentionally when I talk. So I guess I'll go with that one.
I feel like it would be awesome if we could always wear masks. But
yes,
I would go with burp for a kiss, because honestly, that like pretty much is like, it's a more, maybe it's just because I don't have much of a sex life right now, but like that wouldn't get in the way of so many more of your relationships. It would, and you would be forced to find someone that is like kind of fun because they could handle it, you know, and they would be like, oh, going for the kiss, lean away, kiss, you know, and they'd rock and roll with it. And it's something you would only have to deal with your partners and not literally everyone you talk to. Can you imagine just like every interaction you
I do like the idea of just drooling nonstop. That sounds fun.
I think it sounds like a power move. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. You just kind of go into it and you're just like, this is fucking happening.
No, the drooling is not a power move. You guys are both just.
You can make it
right
a power
now.
move.
No, I can't. I
can't do it. I'm a shy drooler.
I know.
I'm a shy drooler.
I just tried to, and like my mouth went so dry. Come on, mouth, wake up.
Maybe it is a power move.
Small saliva energy right now. Am I right?
That's one thing I did notice about wearing the face shield before we were stupid enough to be like, oh, you don't have to wear a mask when you wear a shield. Incorrect. If anybody believes that, then not correct. But to see how much particles come out of my mouth when I talk, awful, terrible. No.
Kaylin, did you want to? We're a little over the time. I do want to get into the quiz.
Yeah. Do I go for one or two?
You know what? They're both great. Either one.
I'm gonna go with the one that says, "Oh, they both have fun toes" in the title. So
what?
Chloe, I don't know how you feel about toes, but tonight's quiz is all about toes.
I have a lot of feelings about toes. As a massage therapist, I have a lot of feelings about toes.
Kayla and I like to scour the depths of the internet to find a great personality quiz. And tonight's is no exception to that. Caitlin, do you want to give a rundown?
Yeah, so this evening's quiz is developed by someone named Coochie Coochie Coo in 2005 on the first day of the year, in January 1st. This person got right to work.
What time? Does it show the time?
No.
Oh man, that's like their New Year's resolution is like, I need to make more quizzes.
More toad quizzes. All right. So this, and the title of this is just Toes. And Coochie Coochie Coo asks, are you obsessed with toes? Do you like to play with your toes? Do you like to tickle toes? Do you like to kiss toes? Do you just love toes? Take this quiz to find out. So here we go. We're gonna find out. Do you ever pick the this is gross. Do you ever pick out the jam from between your toes? If so, what do you do with it? Option 1. That's not all I do. I pamper my precious toes, feet too, and put on toe polish. That doesn't answer the question, but okay. I pick them out and I flick them across the room is option 2. Or 3, I don't do that. I leave my feet alone. Their only purpose is to help me walk. That's all I care about.
I'm
Nice
Shout out
pause.
Judith.
I'm gonna go with the first option because it's unhinged. It doesn't have anything to do with the question, and I love that.
I like the
Such good
phrase
energy.
"pick out the jam."
That's literally it's because you're a born DJ.
Pick out the jam. Oh, 92.3 KFM.
Question 2. What do you think of toes? Nothing much. They just toes. No big deal. It just says
They just toes.
They just toes. They are okay, I guess, is option number 2. Or option number 3, toes are wonderful. They're so cute.
Pop it in your mouth.
See, we've reached an impasse, friends, because I don't know whether to be honest in this part of the quiz or if I should keep up the facade and the veneer that I put out to the universe.
Honesty. Honest toes.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll go with C. Toes are great, and I love them.
Yes, I knew we would get to the truth tonight. All right. Do you prefer long toes or short toes? Ooh, I can't decide. I love both. It doesn't really matter to me. Either is okay. Or I don't really care either way, to be honest. Toes just aren't that big of a deal to me.
I like that it's the same. All 3 of those answers are the same, but the tone is different.
Yeah.
This person is very concerned with tone. Toes and tone. I guess I'll go with A. I'll go with A.
Okay. If someone had 6 toes instead of 5, what would you think? I would be shocked, but then would get used to it. Wow, you mean an extra toe on each foot? Whoa, really? Wow, that would be so awesome. Or I wouldn't really care.
D, as a massage therapist, I would go, oh, son of a bitch, I have to add 5 more minutes to my time. No, I guess D or C, the last one.
You wouldn't really
It's
care.
just like, wouldn't really care. I think that's neat. I've never seen 6 toes on a person before. That would be neat.
It would be neat.
Right?
So you're not going with the wow?
Fine, I'll go with the wow. I just know what the answer is going to be if I go with the wow, because I've done too many positive toe answers.
All right, I'll give you the C. I'll give you C. You stub your toe. I think we can find Akuchi2 on feetfinder.com.
Yes, exactly.
You stub your toe. What do you do? Ooh, I better at least put a Band-Aid on it. Ow. Oh, well, it will heal. No use making a wine session over it. Or,
Yes.
oh no, my precious Tootsie, not my precious Tootsie. Grabs peroxide, Band-Aid, gauze, Q-tips, Neosporin, etc.
I will only refer to my toes as tootsies from now on, but I will go with option B.
Okay.
No, not my tootsie.
My precious Tootsie. Do you like having your toes tickled or tickling other people's toes? Oh yes, more opportunities to touch others' toes. Just be gentle with my precious Tootsie Woodsies. I don't like it. I don't like that Eric is checked out for this part of the quiz. He's not vibing with this.
Eric is disassociated.
I was quickly responding to the fans out there who are messaging me right now, being like, toes?
Yeah, right. I don't buy it. Okay. So,
You're in this with us, Eric. Being in this with us.
All right, I'm back in. Toes.
Okay.
yeah.
Do you
so we're
like,
on the tickling of the toes.
yeah,
Okay.
do you like having your toes tickled or tickling other people's toes? And the first option was, oh yes, more opportunities to touch others' toes. Just be gentle with my precious Tootsie Woodsies. I don't like it. Or it is okay. I don't have to do it or have it done to do it. If it is done, that is okay.
I love this person. I don't know where this person is, but I love them. The way that they're phrasing all of these questions. I'm going to go with no.
Oh.
I don't like it. Okay.
I don't like it. Tickling is not fun. Come on.
Mhm.
Who likes torture?
That was-
Sadomasochists like torture.
That almost rhymed.
Well,
Who likes
My
fun?
sister used to
Come on.
like
come on.
my sister used to like if I had like my feet up on the couch or something, she used to come by and like pull my toes so that they cracked, like the joint
Nice.
cracked, and I
Mm-mm.
fucking hated it.
That is my
I-
least favorite part of a massage. I hate when I tell them not to touch my toes when I get a massage. I'm like, can
Oh,
you just
yeah?
leave my whole feet alone? I hate.
I love you. I love you
hate
for that.
when they
Thank you.
when they do that and they pull the I have such a visceral feeling right now. Even I tell them straight up, I'm like, do not touch my feet. Like, leave it all. No foot involved in the massage, please.
We love that.
I once massaged with a girl, and she did this move. I looked over as she was working on the client's feet, and she put her fingers in between each toe.
I've had that
And I
done to
was
me.
like, what the fuck?
You know, I thought that was standard. That's one of the reasons why I'm like,
No!
don't do it. I'm like, don't
No.
hold hands with my foot. Like,
No, those people are. That's like coochie coochie coo as a massage therapist, right there.
I've had that happen so many times. That's part of the reason I'm like, please just leave my fucking foot alone.
That's
No.
some freak shit.
I never.
Wait, do you
I've
guys do
never
that one
done-
thing though? Because I get this done a lot. The massages where I'm like, they like grab my hand and then they'll kind of like shake it out. Do you guys do that? Is that a real move?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to know a fun fact? We do that because you're not fucking relaxing. That's what we do. Your arm is
Oh.
straight as a board, and so we shake you so that it stops.
Gotcha. Okay. Neat little.
Yeah.
Hey, inside baseball, y'all. Get on board.
Uh,
I like it. It's good to know.
So-
I'm gonna,
Alright,
like,
back
be
to this
so much
toe.
more tense next time. I'm like subconsciously
you
gonna,
should
like,
just resist against it. And
Yeah.
massage therapist would be like, "What
Like,
the fuck?"
grab their hand and start shaking their arm.
I would die if someone started doing that. I
I
would
would
like.
fully laugh.
I would be like, get off this table. If you want to do this, I'll get down. You can do this.
It's so funny.
We can trade these. So you don't like it. If you had to have a toe, I swear to God, Eric. Swear to God.
He's traumatized. Let him be.
No, I can't. I can't. He makes me do the quiz and he catches up on his correspondence.
The fans want it. The fans are out there. They're
You're not talking to
toes.
the fans. I don't buy it.
What if I just texting Murph? All right.
If you had to
Serious.
have a toe amputated, how would you handle the situation?
Oh my god.
I wouldn't care. I mean, I have 9 other toes, so it really is no big deal. It would depress me, but I would get over it. Or lose a toe. No.
I thought they were gonna say like specifically how do you deal with like the pain of getting your toe?
I know. That's what I thought the question was too.
And it was
It's
more
like,
like,
take a Vicodin.
do you say this? Do you say that?
I guess B, I would be depressed, but I would get over it. But also, they don't specify which toe, because if it's the big toe, you're fucked. You got to
Yeah.
figure out some shit out.
You're gonna be
Or if it's
wibble
your pink,
wobbling.
yeah,
Suppose
all the stability muscles.
supposedly this could be like one of those old wives' tales, like rock and roll type things. But supposedly the guys from Leonard Skinner shot their own toes off to avoid being drafted into Vietnam, so that they can continue being in a band. Supposedly, I'll have to look that up. I don't know if that's true, but I remember reading that years ago.
I did have a client once who had an amputated toe and didn't tell me that. And it was dark, and so I slid off his foot because there was supposed to be a toe there, and there wasn't.
It's like the missing stair. He kind
An
of
owl.
staircased you.
He kind of staircased me. He
All
towed me.
toe. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
All right, you are clipping your toenails. Oh wait, this isn't as bad as I thought.
Oh,
You,
God.
you accidentally clip it into a circle instead of a flat.
Oh.
Eric, I can see you. I would try. I feel like I'm your teacher.
Yeah, you are. You caught me on that one. I will admit. I'm sorry.
Well, because
you know what?
your reactions are part of the fun, and I can't do this alone.
You know
man.
what? I do apologize for the listeners at home and to my co-host Caitlin. My boss texted me, and I'm one
I
of those
knew
people
it.
where I get so stressed out when when my boss texts me, and I'm trying to like quickly like take in what he's saying. I have to. Work is for work. I'm outside of work, guys.
Look
We're
at
here.
that. Boundaries.
Yeah,
Yeah. See, finally, only took 3 times.
The truth comes out.
we cut
Yeah,
to
not a
like
fan.
we cut to tomorrow. I'm fired.
More time for the show.
Mhm.
That's
No,
probably why I
honestly,
would be fired.
honestly,
They'd be
that
like,
boss, that boss is like practically a co-producer of the show for the amount of work you do on it while you're at work. Okay, so you're clipping your toenails. You accidentally clip it into a circle instead of flat. Now what? I would try to adjust it as much as I could right at the time. I'm glad you're engaged for this important question, Eric.
I am
Oh
on this
well,
one.
I know. It's just funny because it's such a stupid question. Oh well, I will just fix it later when it grows out. Woo wee. Or gasp, no, please no. I need to have this fixed right away. It goes to professionals and pays big bucks.
Okay, so first of all, with this one, I've never accidentally cut a circle in any nail. That is so intentional. So that would never happen. If anything, it would be the other way around. The other way around. So yeah, part of me wants to choose all the dramatic answers because they're very funny. I love this person. This person is very funny. I'll go with one. The first one was just like, I don't care. It's fine. Yes. I'll go with that one.
I'm kind of an idiot, I guess. I don't understand what that means. What does it mean to cut into a circle or cut flat versus a circle? Like
so
around the edge instead of like a straight across?
Yeah. Like make a circle as opposed to like just a flat where you just clip the whole nail into like a flat. I can't. Wow, I really can't explain that.
How do we? Yeah, like, how do you explain a shape to someone in their 30s?
Doesn't everyone clip in a circle? Then that's how you get the whole thing. Because if it's crescent shaped, the only way to get the full nail is to cut. Like,
no, people do flat.
Why would you do that?
Like, look, this isn't on purpose, but this is like a square. It's like a square is like a cut.
Yeah, this is like a flat.
I just want to join this party. Hey guys. Why would you do that though?
Here's
Am I crazy?
Freebie for the fans.
No, you gotta make them pay for that.
No,
Come
this
on,
is good.
Caitlin.
I'll tell them this is paid. This became a Patreon episode. I know.
I know. I know if the homie Patrick is in the chat, he's screenshotting right now. Question 9. Someone is whittling. 2 more, you guys. We're almost there. Someone is whittling his or her toes. What are you thinking? Ah, makes me want to kiss them, cuddle them, squeeze them, and tickle them. Okay, so the person is a toe whittler. So what's the point? Or toe whittling is okay. I just hope the feet isn't stink.
Again, the grammar on this is amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I'm not as much of a foot freak as I thought. Because I guess 2. I just don't want to cuddle a toe. I guess. God, I'm so vanilla. You know, like I'm finding that out about myself.
You're kink shaming yourself for not having a kink.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Finally, do you think obsession with toes is a little off the wall? What? How can there be anything wrong with it? Gasp. Yes, sheesh, man, they're only toes, or perhaps, but well, each to his or her own.
Wow, that was perhaps. Well,
That
No, I
written.
thought it was like letters.
we got.
I get. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the boring answer. C. It's just like it's just to each his or her own. I think that is a very natural thing to be attracted to feet. So many people are. So, yeah.
All right, calculating results. For 40%, you are definitely not a toe fanatic. You don't hate toes, you just don't see what the big deal is about thinking about them so much. This is actually interesting because like 25,000 people took this quiz, and it does have statistics on like, it says 40% of 4,289 quiz participants had this profile. So that is just an interesting like gauge on where humanity is.
What are you talking about? Like the quiz existing at all? That many people taking it, or that many people getting that result?
That result specifically, yeah. For you could also get this result because for 30%, you are not a toe fanatic. You do, however, take care of your toes if they get hurt or not clipped just right. You take care of them. However, you do not freak out. Or for also 30%, you are indeed obsessed with toes. You love to hold toes, squeeze toes, kiss toes, clean toes, paint toes, toe polish. Thank you for clarifying. Tickle toes, etc. You love toes a lot. If you lost one, it would totally your day or even your year.
Caitlin, your
That's
audio,
all it says. It doesn't say ruin.
It would totally your day.
Your audio perfectly like froze for a second
You
at like the
did.
perfect moment. So you're like, it says here that you are obsessed with toes, and then you just cut for like 10 seconds for a moment. So then, and you were like in this dramatic pose. So I was like, whoa, like she's
The
really
more
obsessed.
you know about toes.
Man, we need a new server, or I don't know. Is that internet? How internet works?
we,
You said that so confidently.
yeah, for a second I was
We
like, we
don't-
do need a new fucking server.
I gotta check the cloud.
The router signal
Oh.
is off the wall.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, toes are neat, I guess. Did you guys ever hear that thing where it's like the toe part of your brain is right next to the foot part of your brain is right next to the sex part of your brain, so that's why people are so obsessed with toes and
Oh,
feet.
Really?
I think that's what you.
Mhm.
I think maybe I learned that from you. So like people who
God
have
damn
foot
it.
fetishes. It's
I
like
didn't
people
know
who
that.
have
That's
foot
new for me.
fetishes. Like yeah, like literally they are just stimulating the same part of their brain that like when they see boobies. So it's like that's why they're obsessed.
I
Mm-hmm.
true, like hand God, like nothing for me personally when it comes to that, but I always assumed, I was like, I wonder, this is so illuminating now to hear this. I always wondered if it was some sort of thing where it's like, you know, like so much of it. Oh, Chloe disappeared. She's like,
No.
"What this?"
It's
I
like,
figured-
I'm out of the chat.
you know how
You're
like,
not into toes. I'm out of here.
yeah. Yeah, you know how like so much like it's all like from your childhood and stuff like that. And I was like, well, when you're
Mhm.
young, like you're kind of like, you know, how Muppet babies, they can only see nannies like legs and feet. 'Cause it's like that's quite literally like what you can see. So I was like, I wonder if it's like that because like you're as a kid, like that's what you see the most of are people's
Huh.
feet and things like that. And so like that's like what you're like, that's what you see and that's what you like get comforted by is like someone's foot, I guess. Which
There's been,
I'm
like,
obviously
one or-
overthinking it now.
Yeah.
If it's like right
No,
there
no,
in the
no, no,
brain.
no. Eric, there's been a couple of studies done about that specifically, about foot fetishes, and often their mothers were barefoot while they were growing up.
There you go.
I don't know
it's
because
just
then
like-
it's like, what about knees then? Because don't you spend a lot of time looking at
Knees is a thing, my
too?
friend.
You're not a knee guy.
I always
You've
thought
never met a knee guy.
I not personally.
You slide your hand in there, and then she
I
closes her,
Yeah, haven't seen.
and then you
Not to get
tap the
super
knee.
gross. Yeah, not to get super gross, but like you've seen those. You've seen that kind of porn, though, right?
no,
Like, oh,
I've never seen knee porn.
like you've never seen the porn of like the girls wearing the stockings and the guy fucks the back of her knee. Like you've never seen
No,
that.
I haven't.
Hell yeah.
I'm so prude.
I feel like I've been on the internet for way too long.
Yeah.
I thought foot fetishes though were more like, and this is not, like any more clinical than anyone else's ideas, but like I thought that it was like related to sort of not like humiliation, but it's like, oh, this is like dirty,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you
Imagine
walk
that's part of it,
around
too.
on your feet and it's like
Dirty fucking feet.
yeah, I don't know. And then there's like
Little
Jesus
yabba
would,
dabba
like
doo
wash
toes.
people's feet, and there's
Yeah,
maybe
the
there's
dabba
something
do
there.
toes. I mean, yeah. I
Stomping
mean,
around
did you
town
ever?
in your
Okay,
Flintstones car.
okay. So one of the best first dates I ever went on was to the Satanic Temple in Los Angeles.
Oh.
The guy took me on the night that they washed the women's feet. So
Okay.
basically, if you're a woman, you can walk into this temple and sit down at one of these chairs, which are very nice, and have a slew of men, basically not in a creepy way, but be like,
Yeah.
you are above me. Let me wash your feet. And let me tell you, as a first date idea, that was awesome
Yeah.
because he didn't realize he was going to get looped into all the guys. So he had to wash like 4 women's feet.
Oh shit. Hell yeah.
And it was great. It was great. That was a great date.
Did
That
you get
is
your feet
great.
washed then?
I did.
By 4
I did
guys?
get my feet washed by 4 different guys. And all of them, one of them I still am Facebook friends with.
Well, how did they wash them?
Was it
So
off?
I know we gotta get going
Coochie
too,
coochie
but I do want to know like
I
how.
want it to I want to believe that it was coochie coochie coo. So it's literally like it's like a tub of water, like if you've ever been to like a to get a pedicure done.
Mhm.
So it's just a tub of water that they change between each woman. And there's soap, there's like a bunch of different tools that they can use, and they ask you what you would like.
Okay, so
It's
that-
literally
it is-
like-
okay.
Wow.
That's what I was wondering if there was like because I was like, is it just
Yeah.
real simple like wash rag and like the Mary Magdalene's like fucking like cloth like or if it was like more like legit, like a spa day. That sounds like
it was actually really nice.
Was it one of those like Thelmic sort of satanic temples?
I don't know. I actually don't know, but
like
it was at
something like that would be.
midnight. That was the thing too, that it was a
Ooh.
first date and I had to meet. We didn't get dinner or anything before this. I just met him at a satanic temple at midnight.
Hell yeah. That's
That's
a great
awesome.
first date. I super dig that. Hey, listeners out there, that's a good one. Take note.
Yeah. I have to say though, I kind of do like the aspect. What?
Sorry, I was laughing. Like you're like, I do have to say though, I wouldn't like that. Don't ever do that for me as a first date.
No, I don't know if I would like strange men washing my feet because I don't want to get staircased, and I feel like
That's fair.
That's a good first step. Up the staircase.
But I kind of liked as a massage therapist, like I feel like part of my job is not being grossed out by certain bodies and certain parts and not having that judgment towards people of being like, when people are like, oh, what if they're like really hairy and gross? And I'm like, when I'm working, I don't care, like I'll put a hot towel on them and wipe their grime away or whatever. And there is something I liked about like, it's so, I think, rare for people to have their feet touched and like be touched in a way that people aren't kind of like, ew, gross or like whatever, or like that isn't like, I don't know, like it's just like a care thing. It's like what parents do for their children. And it's like nice to, that aspect of the work I think is nice. And because people always ask me like, isn't that just disgusting? And I'm just like, I don't know. I find your attitude disgusting. So
yes, literally. It's like, because that's the main thing. Not to get too woo with it, but it feels like a very sacred thing to touch people's feet.
Yeah.
Specifically because it's a part that we don't. When was the last time you touched your own feet other than to like put on socks and shoes? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like just not a part that gets touched very often. But I will say, I don't have like a foot thing necessarily. But there is, my level of respect for a man goes up, like a cis straight man. If he's on my table and I get to the feet and they're like pristine, I'm like, yes, you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah, I literally, there was a woman's bunion once that like kind of melted in my hand. And even that was probably maybe the grossest, but it's fine. It was fine. I was just like, and I'm going to the sink and I'm washing my hands.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
That the Seinfeld bass should have just ended it right there, like that's, I don't mean to fucking foot shame, but that's fucking disgusting. I hate that word too. I hate that they call it bunions. I don't know why. Like it's so fucked up.
It rhymes with onion. Just why?
It just sounds stinky.
It's like a combination of buns and onion.
It nearly ruined Cinnabon for me because it's so close to being like Cinnabunion. Disgusting. We really should call an evening because it's past the hour and a half point. But with all that being said, Chloe, that was incredible. That was also very illuminating. Before we get going, is there anything that you want?
We learned so much.
I know, we really did.
We really tackled some big issues tonight.
Is there anything you'd like to plug or where you'd like to send the people for your acting, modeling type stuff?
Sure. Yeah. You can follow me on Instagram, which is mouthy, like mouthy woman, like a woman who won't shut the fuck up. Mouthy goddess on Instagram, which, yes, I'm very proud of that handle. I also have look at that. That's a dog.
There's this little Murph.
Okay. This is literally Murph's like first appearance in 100 episodes as being producer of this show.
Hi guys.
Oh my
God. Actually, I'm always behind the scenes, but you just don't know it. Anyways, bye. Oh my gosh. Bye, Dad.
I'm gonna
I'll see you
cry.
soon. That's actually my voice from
Merp has a very lovely speaking voice.
Murph, thank you. Yeah.
I guess, yeah, Instagram is like the main one. I don't want to go back to plugging myself.
No, please do. Please do. Sorry, I apologize.
How can I follow up Merp? How can I follow that up?
Wait, one more time. What is it, the handle?
The handle is @mouthygoddess on Instagram. That's where I post daily stories of me just talking, I guess. A lot of times they're funny. Sometimes they're not. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You could go to my website, I guess, if you look up my name, but like, why? It's just it's an acting resume, basically, is on my website.
If you're a casting director,
Yeah.
Hey, if you're a casting director, please fucking hire me. I'm delightful.
Like, whatever I said about feet, like I fucking love feet.
Watch, I book like a Foot Locker commercial
Yeah.
after this.
Excellent.
Foot Locker, we know what you're doing when you get home.
Jesus Christ. Whew. Okay. Well, again, Chloe, thank you so much. That was an incredible. Great. That was. I don't even know what to say. I'm honestly speechless.
I had like an emotional catharsis about my.
I did like through you. Chloe, again, thank you. Caitlin, as I always say, thank you for being the co-host with the most. I'm gonna say goodnight, y'all. Bye,
Good night.
everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Don't get staircased.